Hi children. Yeah, today I'm going to explain about malnutrition topic. So in the nutrition chapter, okay. So in the digestion of food material in the human being, so the food is digested. So after that, it is absorbed by the small intestine and the food particles that nothing but it is carbohydrate, fats, minerals, proteins and etc. So that are reached in blood. So blood carry this food material and finally reach into the each and every cell. So the cells are do the life processes and it will help for the growth and development of the organism. Okay, so every day we take different kind of food material. So in that food material, so there are carbohydrates are there, proteins are there, vitamins, minerals, salts and fats. Okay, so these are the different kind of food substances that are mainly food components that are mainly present in our diet. Okay, so here the malnutrition means so here if it material in our daily life, okay, either it is getting very too or little, okay, too little or too much of certain nutrients taken by your body that leads to the malnutrition. Okay, so eating of food that does not have one or more than one nutrients, eating of food that are much that are, does not have one or more nutrient in the food, that nothing but it is called as a malnutrition. Okay, so in a present days, so nearby two-thirds of the world populations are affected with the food diseases. So because of we take the food material but it is lacks with the protein or it lacks with the fats and sometimes it lacks with the carbohydrates also. Okay, so that's why the food eating food material, okay, so which does not have any kind of nutrient, that leads to the malnutrition. So actually when the person affected with the malnutrition, so it can lead to the serious health diseases. So that including the stunted growth and eye problems and diabetes and heart diseases. Okay, and food deficiency diseases and etc. So that's why every day we eat a balanced diet. So balanced diet means so the diet which contain all proportionate food substances that includes carbohydrates, proteins, fats and mineral salts and etc. Okay, so malnutrition affects the billions of people worldwide. Billions of people worldwide. So here the see the big interesting thing. Okay, so if you eat more, what will be happen? Either if you eat less, what will be happen? So if you eat less, so automatically it leads to the different kinds of food deficiency diseases. So if you think, so if you eat more, so it is also leads to the different kinds of food related diseases. Okay, so that's why so we have to eat a balanced diet in a proportionate. Okay, proportionate. So because of our body required a proportionate amount of the food material that includes the carbohydrates, fats and proteins and minerals and etc. Okay, so now coming to the types of malnutrition diseases, and it is a very important topic. Okay, the first disease is a marasmus, and second one is a kwashiorkor, and third one is a obesity. Okay, so these are the three types of malnutrition diseases are there. First one is marasmus, second one is kwashiorkor, third one is obesity. Okay, now we go through the details of marasmus disease. Okay, so actually the marasmus is in a severe form of protein energy malnutrition. Okay, so if you take in a food material that lack with the protein that result in formation of marasmus disease. Okay, so when a person does not consume enough proteins and calories, so without these vital nutrients, the energy level becomes dangerously low and vital functions are begins to stop. Okay, so because of so both proteins and calories, which are very helpful for the doing of different life processes in our body. Okay, so if we eat very less amount of proteins and as well as carbohydrates, so it leads to the formation of marasmus disease. Okay, so actually generally this disease mainly occurred in or the immediate second pregnancy in the human. Okay, so in the immediate second pregnancy after the childbirth. So, and the symptoms for it is, so that is very lean and weak. So just you see this pic. Okay, the child which is affected with the marasmus, that is proteins and calorific deficiency. So it is very lean and weak and less developed. Lean and weak and less developed, and dry skin and diarrhea. Okay, so these are the symptoms of these diseases. Okay, so UNICEF estimate that nearly half of all death in children under age 5, or around 3 million each year, resulting in a lack of nutrition. Okay, so due to the deficiency of the proteins and carbohydrate, so nearly 3 million child, okay, in each year, so they are affected with the marasmus diseases. So now coming to the next slide. So is the causes of marasmus includes, okay, not having enough nutrient or having too little food. Okay, so these are the reasons to getting the marasmus diseases by the children. Okay, the first one, so the food material is not having enough. Okay, so or having too little food. And coming to the next point, so the consuming the wrong nutrients or too much of one and not enough of other. So for example, so if we take in a carbohydrate too much amount and protein is in a very less amount, so what will be happen? So it is also leads to the marasmus disease because of the quantity in a proportionate. Any food quantity is a proportionate, that nothing but it is called as a balanced diet. So all the food materials or all the food components that are present in a diet, that is called as the balanced diet. So if you eat carbohydrate more or proteins and fats less, so it is also disease causes to the marasmus disease. And having health condition that makes it difficulty to observe the process nutrients correctly. Okay, so these are the causes for the marasmus. So yeah, already I told you the symptoms. The primary symptoms of the marasmus is an acute loss of body fat, and muscle tissues. So already you see the pic in the previous slide. So it is in a very lean and very weak. Okay, so it is usually low body mass index, and nothing but it is called as a BMI. So which means body mass index. So every child, so that according to their age, so they have to maintain a body mass. Okay, that nothing but it is called as a body mass index. Okay, so coming to the in a child, the main symptoms of marasmus is failure to grow, so known as stunted growth. So there is no growth in the child, so that is called as stunted growth. Okay, so in adult and older children, okay, the main symptoms is maybe wasting or loss of body tissue or fat. Okay, a child with marasmus may also be very angry and suck on their claws on hands, and if you're looking for something to eat, so because of they are not getting any kind of food material in their daily lives, so that's why the child with marasmus so may also be very angry. Okay, so they also suck on their clothes and hands, and they are looking for something to eat. Okay, so this is called a marasmus. So now coming to the second disease, what is kwashiorkor. Okay, so it is also one form of malnutrition caused by the lack of proteins in the diet. Okay, so actually the marasmus, lack of proteins and carbohydrates. The kwashiorkor is only the lack of proteins in the diet. Okay, so according to the World Health Organization, so in every 10 members, so near to 6 or 7 members are lack with the proteins in their diet. So that's why all are eating proteinaceous food material, that includes especially the dals. So the dal contain different kinds of dals contain so different kinds of proteins. That's why you have to eat different kinds of dals in your everyday diet. Okay, now coming to the, just you see the symptoms for that kwashiorkor disease. So the people who have kwashiorkor typically have an extremely emaciated appearance in all body parts, so except their ankle, feet and belly, so which is swelled with a fluid. Okay, all the body parts so that are very lean and weak, except ankles and feet and belly, and which is swelled with fluid. Okay, so in ankle parts and feet part and belly part, that are mainly swelled with the fluid. Okay, so why it is swelled with the fluid? So because of these body parts so become swollen due to the accumulation of water in the intercellular spaces. Okay, so ankles, feet and bellies that are mainly filled with the water. Okay, because of that those cells are mainly have intercellular spaces, and intercellular spaces that are mainly filled with the water. Okay, so the symptoms mainly for kwashiorkor is very poor muscle development and swollen leg. Okay, swollen leg and fluffy face, swollen leg and fluffy face. With the due to the fluffy face, so it is difficult to eat. Okay, and diarrhea and dry skin. So these are the symptoms of the kwashiorkor. Okay, so the proteins is also very important substances for the growth and development of the body, especially in the childhood and pregnancy period. Especially in the childhood and pregnancy period. So if the body lacks with the proteins, so the growth and normal body functions will begin to the shut down. Okay, so and kwashiorkor may develop. Okay, if the proteins are deficient, so actually the enzyme which present in our body especially made up of the proteins. So that's why the all enzymes are proteins. That means the enzymes are formed from the proteins. So if there is no enzyme, there is no life process. If there is no life process, there is no development. Okay, so there is no development, automatically it leads to the different food deficiency diseases. Different food deficiencies. Okay, so already I told you it is a protein deficiency disease. So every cell in your body contain protein, so you need protein in your diet, so your body repair the cells and make new cells. So a healthy human body regenerates cells in this way constantly. So I already told you the proteins are very essential to your body. So because of the enzymes are formed from proteins, the enzymes are involved in the metabolic activities, and those metabolic activities are repair the cells and make the new cells. And if it is repair the cell and it make the new cells, automatically the healthy human body is regenerated constantly. Okay, constantly. Okay, now coming to the next slide. So already I told you, so this is an epic, just you see here. So the belly is swallowed, the stomach is swallowed. Okay, so due to the accumulation of water in the body. So if you see the face, so it is in a fluffy face. So very poor muscle development and diarrhea and loss of muscle mass. Okay, so these are the different symptoms of the kwashiorkor. Okay, if a person affected with the kwashiorkor, so it is failure to grow or gain weight. So especially the edema condition. Edema condition means the body parts are swollen in condition that called edema condition. So the edema condition is seen in especially the ankle and feet and belly region, and damaged immune system, so which can lead to more frequent and severe infection. So if our immune system is affected, automatically it leads to the formation of different kind of diseases, and irritability is also one of the symptoms of the kwashiorkor. And final one is obesity. Okay, so if you see that obesity, so actually the obesity is also one kind of malnutrition diseases. So apart from the deficiency diseases like marasmus and kwashiorkor, so if the obesity is the intake of over nutrients, the obesity is due to overeating or excess of energy intake. Okay, actually our body need a specific amount of energy and a specific amount of the food material, but so if we take a overeating or if we take an over excess of energy intake, that is also leads to the disease. So that is called obesity. That is called as obesity. So just you see that, so obesity children when grow, they will be target of the several diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular and gallbladder problems. So if the person is getting more kind of the nutrients, automatically leads to formation of a heavy body. Okay, that heavy body leads to the or target of several diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular diseases and gallbladder problems and etc. Okay, so these are the different kinds of obesity, so different kinds of malnutrition diseases. So here just to see the slide, so obesity leads to much more than simple weight gain. Having high ratio of body fat to muscle puts strain on your bones as well as your internal organs. So which means if you get the more weight, what will be happen? So if you get the more weight, automatically the body muscles are increased, so that muscles get strain on your bones, and it is also strain on your internal organs. Okay, so it is also increases the inflammation in the body, so which through to be a cause of cancer also. So obesity is a major cause of type 2 diabetes. Okay, so nowadays most of the people are affected with the diabetes diseases. So that diabetes disease is mainly gained by the people due to the obesity reason only. Obesity reason only. Okay, so in in this class we discussed about the different kinds of malnutrition diseases. So in the next class we are going to vitamin deficiency diseases and role of vitamins in our daily life. Thank you.